So today we're going to talk about watercolor and how you can soften the watercolor as soon as you squeezed it out in a tube and you add it onto your palette. So this is normally the tubes. I have a lot of tubes. I love my tubes. I normally squeeze them out on these palettes. I have quite a few of these little palettes. They're not expensive. They're very reasonable. And I also have loads of pans that I use that are, let me just find one quickly. They look like this. So this is a hard pan. So these are also little watercolors that are in pans already. They're not in tubes. And what I mean by that is, if you're not familiar with watercolor, these are the tubes of watercolor that you can buy from the store if you want individual specific colors. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you that I normally squeeze my tubes onto a palette, and this is the way you soften or wet them or activate them. So you will wet your brush in water, so you can either drop water on there with your brush, or you can just dip your brush in water and then pick some up. Now you can use an old brush for this if you want to mix your colors, but this is how you will activate your watercolors. How you wet your watercolors. So they will dry, and once they dry you can just obviously wet it again and then just use it again. So, and then with the pans, exactly the same thing. So these are already squeezed out, so they dry. There's no paint on my hands. So what I will do is I will just dip my brush in water. Let's go for a nice color, and then I will dip it on the palette there. You can also use a plate for this, so if you don't want to necessarily use your palette, you can use a plate, and I use my plates quite often. This is a recent painting that I did, so I normally mix my colors on here, and you just activate the paint by wetting it with clean water like this, and then obviously you can put it down on paper. Watercolor medium is amazing, and I absolutely love painting with them. So there are quite a few different palettes that you can buy. You can buy these, you can buy the pans that are already mixed into the, that are already mixed into sets, and then you can just make your lovely little color charts. And I also have, just see, another one. So these ones you can find anywhere. And this is one where I just, if I travel, I will take this one with for instance, this one I'm still busy filling this one up, so that I can have all the colors that I need for a specific painting if I have to travel and I don't necessarily take all my tubes with. So I store my tubes. Let me just show you. So I have a little see-through toolbox, and I store them all in there. So you can also take this with if you travel. However, it takes up quite a lot of space. If it's just for a weekend, I wouldn't recommend you take all your tubes with. But these are obviously very handy. So I've got all my browns there. They're a bit mixed up. I have all my purples there, and I have my oranges there, my yellows, the greys and Chinese whites, and then the greens are supposed to be there, and then the pinks and the reds, which I have a lot. With the oranges I have all on there, and then the greens and the blacks and all of the blues at the top here, like this. And what I like about these see-through little fishing boxes, they're very handy, so you can see all your colors that you have. You can even store some of your, if you do travel with your, you can add your few little palettes you want to take with at the bottom there, and take this all with all your brushes in a nice container so that they don't get ruined, and you only take the brushes that you use most of the time with. Dr. P.H. Martin liquid watercolors. Let me just put this away. Which you can also just drop onto your palette. They are highly pigmented colors, as you can see, so you just need a drop. So I will just put a drop on this plate here, right there. Basically that's all that you need. By just wetting your brush in some water and dipping it on your palette, you can already see you can just use it immediately as well, and you can dilute it. Obviously go back immediately, because like I said, it is highly pigmented and it will stain your paper, but also lovely watercolors to use. And that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it all makes a little bit more sense.